Welcome back to Born to Win Legend, the channel where we bring you the stories of remarkable individuals who shaped the world through power, resilience, and unshakable ambition. If this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on deep dives into the lives of world-changing leaders. Today, we explore the journey of a man who went from the shadows of Soviet intelligence to becoming one of the most influential and controversial leaders of our time. This is the story of Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin was born on October 7, 1952, in Leningrad, now known as St. Petersburg, Russia. He grew up in a communal apartment shared by several families, a common living arrangement during the Soviet era. His father, Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin, was a factory foreman and former submariner in the Soviet Navy. His mother, Maria Ivanovna, was a factory worker and a devout Russian Orthodox Christian. The early years were marked by poverty, discipline, and national pride. Putin was known as a quiet but physically active child. In his teenage years, he began training in judo and sambo, martial arts that he would continue to practice into adulthood. His discipline in sports reflected his mental toughness, quality that would define his later political style. In the 1970s, Putin studied law at Leningrad State University. It was during his university years that he joined the Communist Party and was recruited by the KGB, the Soviet Union's powerful intelligence agency. After graduating in 1975, he began his career in intelligence. Initially stationed in Leningrad before being sent to Dresden, East Germany. In the mid-1980s, during his KGB service, he was tasked with espionage and counterintelligence, experiences that would deeply influence his worldview. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 was a pivotal moment for Putin. Disillusioned by the chaos and economic hardship that followed, he left the KGB with the rank of lieutenant colonel and transitioned into politics. His rise was meteoric. By 1996, he had moved to Moscow and soon became a trusted member of President Boris Yeltsin's inner circle. In 1999, Yeltsin appointed Putin as prime minister. Later that year, on December 31st, Yeltsin resigned and named Putin as acting president. It was a stunning ascent. In March 2000, Putin was officially elected as Russia's president. From the outset, Putin presented himself as a strong man dedicated to restoring order and national pride. He cracked down on oligarchs who had amassed power during the chaotic 1990s, reasserted state control over key industries, and launched a brutal campaign in Chechnya to suppress separatist movements. These actions were popular domestically, cementing his image as a restorer of Russian strength. Putin's presidency saw rapid economic growth during the early 2000s, fueled by rising oil prices and strategic reforms. He used the newfound wealth to pay off international debts, stabilize the ruble, and boost military spending. Under his rule, millions of Russians rose out of poverty, and national confidence surged. In 2008, due to constitutional term limits, Putin stepped aside and supported his close ally Dmitry Medvedev for the presidency while serving as prime minister. Many believe that Putin never really relinquished control. In 2012, returned to the presidency amid massive protests and allegations of election fraud. This time, Putin's rule was different. His government became more authoritarian, cracking down on dissent, tightening control over media, passing laws restricting protests and foreign-funded NGOs. At the same time, he repositioned Russia on the global stage as a rival to Western powers. In 2014, Putin made a move that would alter global geopolitics. Russia annexed Crimea from Ukraine. This act was condemned internationally and led to severe economic sanctions, but it boosted Putin's popularity at home. He framed it as the protection of ethnic Russians and the return of historically Russian land. Putin's foreign policy became increasingly assertive. Russia intervened in Syria to support Bashar al-Assad, backed separatists in eastern Ukraine, and was accused of meddling in elections in the United States and Europe. Despite sanctions and diplomatic isolation, Putin continued to project strength and defiance. Domestically, Putin focused on reshaping the constitution to maintain his grip on power. In 2020, constitutional changes were approved that could allow him to remain president until 2036. Critics saw this as the end of Russian democracy. While supporters viewed it as necessary stability, Putin cultivated a powerful image riding. Horses shirtless, diving for ancient artifacts, flying with cranes each, act carefully orchestrated to portray vitality, courage, and nationalism. State media reinforced his mythos as a savior of the Russian state. In 2022, Putin launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, escalating the conflict that began in 2014. The war resulted in global condemnation, increased sanctions, and massive military and civilian casualties. It marked one of the darkest chapters of his leadership. Yet within Russia, narrative was different, framed as a fight against Western encroachment and a mission to protect Russian sovereignty. Despite growing isolation, Putin has kept tight control over the Russian political landscape. Dissenting voices have been jailed, exiled, or silenced. Yet, his popularity among many Russians remains strong, driven by nationalism, state-controlled media, and distrust of the West. Putin's rule has transformed Russia economically, politically, and militarily. He turned a collapsing post-Soviet state into a centralized power with global ambitions. His leadership is a mix of calculated strategy, nationalist ideology, and ruthless control. His personal life remains largely private. He was married to Lyudmila Shkrebneva for 3 decades. Before divorcing in 2013, he has 2 daughters who remain out of the public eye. Putin is known for his love of nature, animals, and physical fitness. As of now, Vladimir Putin remains one of the most powerful men in the world. His legacy is deeply polarizing. To some, he is a patriot who revived Russian greatness. He is a dictator who suppressed democracy and destabilized global peace. His story is far from over. Whether history will remember him as a genius statesman or a destructive force depends on the years to come. But what is undeniable is that Putin is a figure who changed the course of history, and it continues to shape the future. Thank you for watching. This episode of Born to Win Legend, Vladimir Putin's journey intrigued you? Make sure to like, share, and comment your thoughts. Who would you like us to cover next? Till next time, stay inspired, stay aware, and remember, legends are not born, they are made through power, precision, and purpose.